everyone, welcome to another music reaction video. I'm Nethercloud, and today we're going to be checking out Snowblood by ERRA. This is another song that was submitted via our community Discord in the music recommendation section. If you'd like to join us over there, we talk about music, gaming, life, mental health, all of the things. We're a very diverse, supportive, and kind group. We'd love to have you. Links will be down in the description to that, as well as all of the other pertinent internet nonsense, the Twitch channel, etc., etc. Right next to that like and subscribe button. If you're enjoying the content, please do hit those buttons. It helps us out a lot. But you guys aren't here for me to talk about subscribe buttons and discords and stuff. Maybe you are. Thank you if you are. You're here to talk about ERRA. I know nothing about this band. I know nothing about this song. The only things I can infer is based on the person who sent it over, which is my good friend Squiddy WTF. He also has a YouTube channel. Look him up, check him out. He does a lot of interesting stuff, video essays, gameplay content, tutorials, etc., etc. Solid dude. And I know his taste in music, so I've got a little bit of a guess about what this is about, but let's not work on guesses and conjecture. Let's press play and see what happens. I like it already. Did I just see some bass tapping? Hang on. Love this. This is awesome. If I know Squiddy, I bet there's going to be some melodic vocals coming up on the next part where it breaks down into the next section of the song. Not 100% sure. Sometimes he does like the straight up aggressive stuff, but generally he likes a little bit of like, oh, with his, oh. That was terrible. I don't know why you guys come back to watch me. But if I'm correct, where was it? Right about... Let's just back up even more. Let's give it a look. Yep, right there. Little tappy action. Sorry, for those of you that don't nerd out hard about stuff, you're probably like, why is this guy specifically just staring at the bass player's fingers? Well, that's, you can barely see it. There's like a little edge of the strap there. But usually in the background, I've got my 6-string fretless. We're just got the camera a little different. We're working with a newer camera, which is looking fantastic. I'm loving it. Thank you, Mandu, if you're watching. But anyway, yeah, I do geek out about stuff like that here on the channel. I love cool techniques. I like to do a lot of tapping and strumming. So, well, I did when I played a lot. Honestly, I haven't played in quite a while. Gaming has kind of taken over my life. Content creation is the heart and soul of my everyday now. But when I see a cool amplifier or technique that's, our guitar player's doing it up front too. I'm just a bass player, so I noticed that. We got both guys on screen here doing some two-handed tapping nonsense. I love that. I say nonsense, but I mean brilliant fucking bullshit. I don't even mean... Why am I saying these words? These words don't... It's like when you make the stink face when you're doing a fucking nasty good riff. It's just like... It's like the worse the word is, the better the fucking reaction is. Like, the better the music is. Like, you're like, oh, this is disgusting bullshit. And, like, you make that stink face, and it's like, that means you love it. I don't know. That's at least that's my experience. Okay, let's take it from the top, and I'll try not to nerd out over tapping techniques and actually like focus on the song. But I love the vocal style, and I love the music so far. It's a little flat as far as the compression. I'd like a little bit more dynamic range in the production of it, but that's not the performance. So, blah, 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 nerd. Guitar's a little quiet in the mix. There we go. Yeah, the lead guitar is kind of a little bit subdued, which I kind of like for this style, but I think it could come up a little in the mix. like it. I really like this. Oh, hang on. That is fucking cool. That is cool. Sorry. I curse a lot more when we're doing heavy stuff. Like, I get all like, I revert to that like primal, like, fuck yeah. You guys know, generally I try to keep the cursing to a minimum because, you know, the YouTube algorithm doesn't like that, but fuck the algorithm. Yeah. God, let's just like kick through a friggin' brick wall right now. Hell the fuck yeah. Love to see this band live. Would love to see this band live. Squiddy, my man, if you're watching this, let's figure out when they're touring by one of us and let's the other one go there and let's go break down a freaking building, just fucking going nuts to this. It's just, guys, it's just going to be nothing but cursing and metal from... oh. Would like to hear that solo cut through a little louder in the mix, but it's good. It's there. Seven string, right? Yeah. It's not an easy thing to balance a guitar tone on this type of music because when you're doing the chunky stuff, you've got a very different feel to the way you do your EQ, and just everything about the way you lay it out is breathe, Nether, breathe. I know you want to jump up and down and mosh and, you know, break things, but breathe. So tonally speaking, on an album, I feel like it would be better if you record the solos on either a different guitar or a different amplifier or using a different EQ sometimes so that they can cut through more. Obviously live, you've got your engineer moving the faders and whatnot. So you do what you can because you're not going to switch out guitars like, oh, I'm in the middle of a riff and now like, hold on, let's just stop and get a different guitar for the solo. The way the sound is set up on this, it's got that slight roll off of the high end to give it that chunkier tone, which is fantastic on all of the rhythm stuff. All of the like rhythmic stuff is just nailing it. The solo here, I feel like it needs a little bit more brightness behind it. Perhaps if they had a second amplifier that was like EQ'd to let that little like cut through. A lot of times when I did my production stuff, I like to put, like, you've got your main distorted amplifier, and then underneath that in the mix, you've got kind of just like an overdriven one, you know, almost like a, I wouldn't say a classic Fender amplifier, but something like that's just not chunky, full-on distortion, but like that crispy, overdriven clean. And if you just have that under the mix a little bit and boost that when you go into the solo, you get this really punchy, like, jump through in the mix when you're doing a solo. Again, I'm nerding out on stuff that's not particularly the song itself, but I like that stuff. I like talking about guitar playing techniques, amplifier selection, guitars, all that stuff is great. I spent my whole life trying to dial in a tone. The funny thing is, a lot of times, by the time you get all the gear and all of the fun toys that you were looking forward to when you were a little kid, it's like, you know what? I kind of just want to plug direct in. I've got an amazing bass rig. I'm talking like my dream rig. Like my little teenage self would have wet himself thinking about how badass the freaking amplifier and the cabinets and the bass and all of the accessories that I have are. And as the person I am today, a lot of times I'm just like, I don't need that. Let me just plug a DI in. We'll do some amp modeling in the software. Bing, bang, boom. Get it done. Get it out there. There is so much good stuff digitally now. It's not like it was like 20 years ago or so when you could blatantly tell like, oh, this is just some BS processing in, on a plug-in loop in Pro Tools somewhere. Some of this stuff rivals the best amplifiers and stuff and signal chains out there that you could possibly have analog. I think there's a time and place for both. I think using the tools that are available to you in a multitude of ways and, stepping out of your own way to use the right tools for the right job really separates the good from the great. But at the end of the day, getting something out is better than getting nothing out. And, for me personally, at this stage in my life, if I'm going to get back into any music, I'm probably just going to take my bass, plug it direct in, and do a lot of modeling stuff. If for some reason that accidentally hit and someone was like, we need that, we need it big, we need a record in stores, tours, blah, blah, blah. Cool. We'll reamp it, or I'll go retake it on some big badass rig in a studio somewhere. But, God, the tangents that I go off on in this channel. Let's wind back to the beginning of the solo, because regardless of my feeling on the mix and how I would approach it differently, this guy's really knocking it out of the park. This band is extremely talented. They're really tight. Their selection of rhythms and melodies is solid. The singing is great. The brutals, I like the brutals more than I like the melodics, but both are solid. This is good stuff. This is the type of stuff I'm prone to listen to when if I went to the gym. I don't. I would be listening to stuff like this. Just that type of stuff that's got that energy that pushes you. I do a lot of other stuff to keep myself active, but never been a gym person. Yeah, that needs more cut. He's just pop through. Good reverb though. If that had a little bit more bite to it and tone, that would just be phenomenal. He's killing it though. Okay, we have to go back and watch it again, because I guarantee there's going to be someone out there who loves this band who's like, you're talking over the whole solo. So we're going to watch the solo again. Very nice. I like that jump between the different styles. I'm very big into songs and bands that are not like locked into like this is the vibe from beginning to end, like that take you on that like bring it up, bring it down, jerk it to the left type of thing. Like I like that. That was solid. Love the transition from the solo into the next part, and then the way it just like kicks the other direction. That's fantastic. Like I said, my only critique on the solo is the mix. This song has things go in like these like stages, right? In the 90s, if you listen to the rock and the metal of the 90s, there's this missing element on the low end. Everything got kind of like crispy around that time period, mid 90s to like early 2000s, and then it started to like round out nicely. And now I feel like we've got kind of the opposite going on in a trend where like a lot of the high end is like rolled off. It's all about that low end chunk. I going back to what I was saying earlier, right tools for the right job type of situation. I think as far as this mix is concerned, I think they went a little too heavy-handed cutting the highs out on a lot of this. I think it's appropriate for a lot of music like this where you've got that like chunkiness, but there are parts where you need to bring it back in, especially with the guitar solos. It's got to be there. It's got to cut through in the mix. It needs to just. That's where it doesn't kick. It slices. I don't know. That's probably doesn't make sense, but yeah, I like to hear all the spectrum of sound. Not just I don't want just the chunk. I don't want just the crisp. I want it all. I want that crispy, chunky sandwich where you just bite into it and it just like sends an electric jolt to your brain while it kicks you right in your freaking stomach. That's the sweet spot. That being said, performance-wise, creativity, writing, song arrangement, freaking killer. Nice. Great. Love the way they did that. Like the gates that they have so that like the quiets are the quiet. I mean, it's in the studio, so it's possible somebody went back and just kind of chopped the silences out, but I doubt it. Like these guys know what they're doing with their settings and everything. Like that like choppy machine gunny stuff. It's just set with the perfect kind of noise gate where like you don't get any of that feedback hum in between the chunks. That's gorgeous. Love that. I love when something hits like that. Excellent. Fantastic. Yes, please. Yes, please. That is delicious. Just nice full belly right there. That was tasty. I guess I didn't comment on the video at all. I think the video is okay. The video itself, as far as something that's like a straightforward, probably lower budget type of thing, it's pretty good. I like it. I don't think it was as gritty as I would have liked for the song. Like if I'd have heard this song and I had like thrown my ideas and thoughts and feelings out there about it, I would have liked something a little grittier, a little dirtier, a little like back alley. Just the riffs are so filthy. I kind of want to see filthy. You know what I mean? I want that grime and that grunge. But it sufficed. It was solid. I'd say the video is probably my at the bottom of the list of things for me on that one. Musically, like I said, everything is fantastic. I think there's a little too much roll off of the high end, especially on the guitar. The mix is very drum and vocal prominent, which is appropriate for the style, but that guitar really could use just that little upper mid end boost with a little bit of the sparkle from the highs. Those of you that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't are probably like, what the hell is this guy even on about? That's music, especially in the heavier genres like the metals, the hardcores, the hard rocks, all that stuff. People tend to be, pretty opinionated. It's really weird because obviously people are commenting on these videos and enjoying them because I keep coming back and doing them and you guys keep clicking on them. So I've found that where you would expect people to be the most critical isn't really where it comes out. Like I found that the metal and the hard rock and the hardcore, those crowds are the most critical of what's going on. They're the ones, and I'm, maybe this is just a grand sweeping nonsensical statement, but if I anticipate someone giving me hell in the comments, I more so do it on a video like this than on, say, something that's like we did a deep dive into Ren. Very versatile artist, from acoustic guitar to rap to all the different things. He hits like every mark. I haven't heard him do anything like super hard, but he does he does have some grit to him. Like the kindest, most gentle people, most understanding. And then we've done some other stuff that's very like metal, hard rock type stuff, and there are some pretty critical voices down there in the comments. And we're here to tell our opinions and stuff like that, but let's remember to keep it kind down there. I know I run my mouth, but at the end of the day, I respect all these artists that I'm watching. Even if I don't like something, my deepest, sincerest respect to the artists doing this stuff. They're out there putting themselves on the line for everybody else to judge and look at. So if we're going to comment, let's try and keep it positive. Critique is fine. Just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like I've gone very heavy into my critiques of the individual aspects of this song. I want everybody to know that it comes from a place of respect and enjoyment, and that I think it's important to be kind out there, because that's been the message of my whole community and my whole content creation thing is take care of each other. And with that being said, I had a great time on this one. I hope you guys did too. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care of yourselves out there and be well.